Okay, it is 9:36 and this thing is actually making a move above this uptrending trend line now, and I want to see if it's going to close under the trend line. We just have 5 seconds left. It might try to regain itself in. I want to see what it's going to do. Okay, yeah, so it did open under the trend line. Maybe it might try to hold VWAP. This could actually be like a bull flag setup, a tiny bull flag, and maybe it can try to regain itself around this trend line level. But I did trade it because it did break above VWAP initially, and I think I had the right amount of shares. I didn't really have that much time to figure out how many shares I needed for a proper $20 risk level, but I did buy 150 shares at 933, which was right here at 73.39. And the idea is that it was making a move above VWAP and it was going to break above VWAP, hold above VWAP, and then try to get to the day high if you want to count the pre-market levels. And best case scenario, it breaks above it and it keeps going. There was one thing I did kind of wrong with this, and I'll go over it. And I did sell in pieces, kind of weird amount of numbers. It was just, I don't know, me trying to sell quickly and not take too much time. It did trade with a bit of a spread, as you can see. It kind of went all the way up here, closed all the way back, and this one did something similar. And I just didn't like that kind of price action because the trend line is very gradual, and then it would just uptrend so much. I did sell in pieces. One at 77, and this was at right here 933. I did sell some at 77.11, and then 73.09. So that was a bit closer to my entry, and that's what I'm gonna get for using market orders sometimes. But I don't know. I'm gonna keep trying this to see if it's going to be something that I will eventually use all the time. This is another one at 77.5. And then I had another one at 934. The last amount I did sell some at 76 because it did make a move all the way and then it just kind of went back under, and I didn't like that too much. It is trying to do a bit of a bull flag right here. It did get to the trend line, but I didn't break above it. And now we're actually breaking VWAP, so that's pretty bearish. Very speculative setup because this is a biotech, I think, by the name, and I haven't really seen this setup work too much lately, but it actually did do something. It wasn't crazy, but it did actually break the day high just a little bit. That is it for right now. I'll make an update later. This was a very small gain right now. Okay, it is 10:35 p.m. and I'm here to call it off. Overall, I'm gonna be up on the day just $3, 84 cents, two trades. NEXI AM is a second, and the balance this thing is totally off because I added money to this account so I don't have to have another issue where I have this cash account and I run out of liquidity to trade because it takes I think 2 days for cash to settle. Anyway, I had a second trade. I only traded 10 shares. This was a tiny $27 position because I didn't have much faith in this thing working, and I just wanted to have something just to learn from it, not necessarily, try with a proper $20 risk level because it's not a setup that I've really, I've done too much. And this was an 11 a.m. reversal. AM was selling off, and I thought I could do something where around 11 a.m. or 12 a.m. a lot of these try to turn around and make a move towards VWAP. Some of them, if they're at their highs, like to break the day high and really uptrend. Like I think, see if I can remember which one. It was this one. This one around that time period. You can see it has like a high right here and broke it around 11:40ish, and it broke the day high on this day. Also the high off of this day, and this was a pretty nice setup after a dip towards VWAP. It really made a move, so it is a very common time period for stocks to turn around or break the day high depending on where they're at on the chart. So I did buy just 10 shares at 11.12, which was right here, right at the very tippy top, because I thought it was actually starting to work. And I also had a trend line, and I like how it was following along with it. As you can see, it was pretty much following this downtrending trend line. And then I like how it broke past it, uptrended a little bit, but then it sold off one more time, and it wasn't able to regain itself under the trend line. So it was in theory a potential change in momentum. And the only, I guess, issue I had was that I had a really high entry. Maybe it would have been better if I was in at like 265-ish. I was in it right here because it was looking like it was already starting to maybe make a move towards VWAP. Absolutely didn't do it. And I had several stops. I did make my stop that I held on for a very long period of time right here, basically the low of this range. And then once it was starting to show some kind of a sign that it could uptrend, I'm not sure exactly how I had the trend line. Maybe, I don't know, maybe something like this. I do have it on the original chart here with Daytrade. Right here I had a, I guess, no, I didn't have it right here. Oh, I actually have it on the other screen because this is when I was starting to do other things, so I was no longer looking at this screen. This was now my primary screen, and the other one I just had the stocks in the background. Let me get the other screen to show up. This is a trend line I had, and essentially, once it was starting to show signs that it's uptrending, I did move my stop to basically 265, which was a little bit under the uptrending trend line, and then some. And once it broke that, I just thought that the chance for it to get above VWAP was going to drop significantly. So that is exactly what ended up happening. Let me see if I do this right. Yep. Once it broke this uptrending trend line, it did sell off, and I did get out with my stop at 1142, which was right here when it was starting to fail and no longer follow this uptrending trend line, which also looked like an inverse head and shoulder, but like an uptrending one. Just didn't make a move towards VWAP, although I did get to VWAP a couple times. It never really broke above it, and it did sell off right here and downtrend some more. So yeah, that was an attempt with that. I think I'm gonna keep trying when it comes to setups like that, but not with a $20 risk level. That's it for today.